rearrange the Pokemon yet again. Do have to keep track of types and what's coming up next a lot of these times. I had this feeling. I knew I had to battle you. Don't want to get caught off guard by having my worst Pokemon out there. So, we're up against Chad, and he has an EKANS. So I have Sanjay out front because Bebo is more or less incapacitated right now. So, attack goes down, Leech Seed goes out, because this is probably going to take me a bit. At least 3 turns, so let's try to make sure I keep my health up as much as possible. Plus, we're going to take a little bit of his health every time. And then we'll just continue with Tackle. And tackle until dead. Even though he's going to try to poison, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Because it's not very effective against us. Because we can't actually be poisoned. That's the thing with poison enemies and poison types. I always feel like the whole point of poison is to poison the enemy. And the moves aren't that great. But of course that's just kind of my Generation 1 bias kicking in. He's going to use the Sandshrew. We're not going to change Pokemon because, as you might imagine, my Sandra can take care of him, no problem. Go Razor Leaf. Special attack on Sandra should be high enough to one-shot the Sandshrew. Indeed it is. And down goes Sandshrew. Of course, I'm like 7 levels higher. That also helps. That probably helps more than the type and all that kind of stuff. And down goes youngster Chad. I knew I'd lose, too. Why did you challenge me then? This freaking dick. If your Pokemon get confused, switch it out. That's a good tactic. I don't think he says anything nearly that useful in the first game. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Let's head over here, where we can find you. My friend has many cute Pokemon. I'm so jealous. Why do they have this pose? Last Haley, seriously, why do you always try to flirt with me? We're up against Oddish. Still have Sanjay out front. I was considering switching to Sanders, but I remember that he doesn't have the best HP right now. So I'll probably take out one with Sanjay and then take out the other with Sanders. And then we'll be good. Freaking Absorb. It's not very effective. And what are you going to do? Oddish, it takes a while to level up in Oddish well. But once you get it up, it can be quite good. Can be. Oh, you're going to come out with PIDGEY instead. Alright, so I'm going to switch anyway. Nibbler. Go out and kill me a PIDGEY, please. You need a couple levels here. I do have to pay attention to types and all that kind of stuff. I will have to do that even more as we go along. Because after all, right now, we're not severely, under-leveled and understated and all that kind of stuff. Hey, but as it becomes more apparent that everybody else is evolving their Pokemon and I'm not, that's when I really start having to pay attention to what's going on. Alright, another Oddish. This time we will throw Sanders out there. No, let's stick with Nibbler. Nibbler needs the levels more than Sanders right now. So even though Sanders would be super effective, let's see how Hyper Fang does. Oh, so close. So close. And here we can see Absorb actually do a decent amount of damage. However, I'm going to go with a quick attack, and I should be able to finish the Oddish off. Down it goes. So much for your heals. Oh, not enough just yet. And down goes Haley. I'm not so jealous. We get more Pokebucks. Anything to say about your humiliating defeat? You came from Mount Moon? May I have a Clefairy? You can't just have a Clefairy. No. The hell? I don't give people Pokemon. But if you head over here, you can get a Bluckberry. Which, I honestly have no idea what that does. I don't keep track of the berries very well. I should, but I don't. It can be ground into a powder as an ingredient for medicine, so this is what he wanted. Probably won't give him any. In the original versions of the game, it would be here, but in this version of the game, it is, I believe, somewhere around there. There it is. In Ether. Once again, we get that in both versions of the game, but it is different where it is. an ether, which we have seen before. This cape is a famous date spot. Mr. the gym leader has high hopes about this place. This is a cape? Hello, are you alone here? If you're out at Cerulean's Cape, well, there should be as a couple. So this is apparently make out point. And I get to see my reflection. I don't think we've shown that before. How awesome does that look for a Game Boy Advance? This is actually a teaser for something that happens in other versions of the game, which we will see at some point. Sea Cottage. Bill lives here, so Bill lives at Makeout Point. I'm sure he gets all the chicks. Bill? Where the hell's Bill? I'm gonna check his email. Teleporter is displayed on the PC monitor. Okay, I can't check his email or his history, apparently. How you doing, Clefairy? I'm gonna go with Clefairy. Hiya, I'm a Pokemon. No, I'm not. Call me Bill. I'm a true blue Pokemaniac. Hey, what's with that skeptical look? I'm not joshing you, pal. I screwed up an experiment and got combined with a Pokemon. So how about it? Help me out here. Of course. Wait till I get inside the teleporter. When I do, go to my PC and run the cell separation system. Why he doesn't have like some kind of delay timer on this thing, I'm not entirely sure. Dumpus initiated the teleporter's cell separator. And we have undone the fly. Seriously, that would have been so good for that movie. And we find that Bill is indeed a full-fledged human being. What happened to the Clefairy? I have no idea. But we do get a sense of kind of the system that works in Pokemon, which doesn't make sense because it only works for Pokemon, I guess. Why can't I be teleported from town to town? Maybe that's the transportation that people normally use and only Pokemon trainers walk in order to get levels. Maybe that's it. Yeehaw, thanks, bud. I owe you one. So, did you come to see my Pokemon collection? You didn't? That's a bummer. I've got to thank you. Oh, here, maybe this'll do. And we have received an SS ticket. That doesn't sound as bad as it suddenly sounds to me. So that goes in the key item pocket. The cruise ship SSN is in Vermilion City. I hear there are lots of trainers on board too. They invited me to their party, but I can't stand fancy dudes. Why don't you go instead of me? Go on and have a good time. Anything else to say? It's in Vermilion City. There are lots of trainers on board too. Yeah, it's all the same stuff. Alright, so that's all we can do. From now on, every time we access our PC, it will display Bill's PC instead of someone's PC, which has always been weird to me that they would have it as someone's PC to start with. But it is now officially Bill's PC. He has the technology capable of handling this fancy work. So now we begin the long journey back to Cerulean City through the shortcut, which was told to us probably a couple times. Notice that there's something new there. I do need to heal, though. All healed and ready to go into the only door that was shut off from us before. I think we have heard this before, but I'll say it again. The people here were robbed. It's obvious that Team Rocket is behind this most heinous crime because they're the only gang in the game. Even our police force has trouble with the Rockets because we only have level 5 Pokemon. Let's head inside, though. Did you guys see an R in the back there? I did. Team Rocket must be trying to dig their way into no good. What does that mean? Why'd you capitalize dig? That was weird. Dude, they like busted through your back door, like ruined the whole wall. Like that whole wall might need to be replaced. Don't let them talk you into that. Just a little bit of plaster will do it. Those miserable Rockets. Look what they've done to my house. They stole a TM for teaching Pokemon how to dig holes. I was going to use it on a Mankey or a Sandshrew. Mankey can learn dig? I'll have to check that. If he says it, it's probably true. That cost me a bundle, it did. I wouldn't recommend teaching Mankey dig, but if he says it works. Yeah, there's a Team Rocket guy here. Was there really any doubt that was going to happen? Hey, stay out. It's not your yard, huh? Me? I'm an innocent bystander. Don't you believe me? Not by any stretch of the imagination whatsoever. And we're up against a Team Rocket grunt yet again. He sends out a Machop. I have Somja out front. I would have Bebo because Bebo is a much better tank for fighters, but Bebo has no way of doing damage to these guys still. Alright. Razor Leaf almost one-shot you last time, so I'm not going to bother with a Leech Seed. We'll just see how well this does. Yeah, over half. You can focus energy all you want, but I killed you in 2 shots, so so much for you buffing your stats. Down you go. And we get 319 experience, enough for another level up. I will take it. Good stats there as well. And he's going to use a Drowsy. Ooh, Drowsy. I will switch. As I've said before, I like using Sanders as my... Well, I like using the Pidgey line as my Psychic Killer. We're going to be up against a Psychic Pokemon, so no Rumpus, no Samja, no Bebo. Like, I'm weak to Psychic as a whole. We got 3 Pokemon that are weak to it. So I'm going to throw Sanders out there, like I said before. I like using him as my Psychic Killer. And I want to show that off a little bit here. Even though, to be honest, it's probably not going to be that great here because Drowsy is not built like your typical Psychic Pokemon. As a result, I really don't like Drowsy as a Psychic Pokemon. There are quite a few Psychic Pokemon in the game, or at least as secondary Psychic, so really Drowsy is not your best bet. It's not built properly for a Psychic Pokemon. I'm going to use Gust though, because I will get same type attack bonus. As you can see, it's not very effective this early in the game, especially against a Drowsy. But we're going to keep going for it. It is much more effective later, I swear it is. Confusion is an actual Psychic type move, so you have to be careful of that. But down goes Drowsy. As you can see, not too bad, considering that Psychic is damn near broken in, well, at least the first generation of the game. They fixed it quite a bit this time, but it's still pretty bad. Not too great of stats. And we're trying to learn Whirlwind. Whirlwind, I don't believe does damage. What am I thinking of? Does it do damage? It's a normal... No, it doesn't do damage. The foe is made to switch out with an ally in the wild. The battle ends. It's decent. I'll actually replace Tackle with it because I'm not going to be using Tackle now that I have Quick Attack, because Quick Attack is better by all stretch of the imagination. So we'll switch it out for Tackle. It's sometimes a useful move. It's rare. I probably won't be using it though. And away goes Tackle. And we have learned Whirlwind. And down goes Team Rocket Grunt. Now 19, that might be it. Stop, I give up. I'll leave quietly. And we get 544 Pokebucks. And I will skip all the evolution yet again. It was actually level 18, but we still have a Pidgey with us. Okay, I'll return the TM I stole. I don't remember if it's always TM28, but it's definitely always Dig. I better get moving. Bye. I don't think they actually said that. Let's take a look at Dig, because I honestly didn't think you could teach it to a Mankey. Probably gets taught to a lot of Pokemon that I never teach it to. It's an interesting move. It has 60 power and 100 accuracy. I'll tell you more about my history with Dig later. But it is an attack that hits on the second turn. It is our first move that has 2 turns in order to actually do it. Can also be used to exit dungeons. I probably will not use it for that unless it's an absolute emergency, kind of trying to keep in the spirit of not running from dungeons or anything like that. No escape ropes, no repels. I'll try to avoid ever using Dig or Teleport as well. But since that's not actually part of the challenge, I might do it in a pinch if I absolutely need to. Dig is interesting though, because the first turn, your Pokemon actually digs a hole and goes underground. And as a result, many moves will miss. Most moves will miss. I'm not going to go over all the moves that will still hit you when you're underground, because it's actually different in the first game and in this game. But just know that you're not completely invulnerable. There are still some moves that will hit you. Oh, we didn't actually check to see who can learn it. I'm not going to teach it to anybody, but yeah, Mankey can learn it. Templayer can learn it, and Nibbler can learn it. Apparently, most of my normal Pokemon, well, all my normal Pokemon, and probably most of the normal Pokemon in the game can indeed learn it. Ooh, you're at a very key point here. Here we can find Route 9, don't have access to it just yet. I am actually going to go back into town. I'm going to heal. Not that I necessarily need to, but I'm going to rearrange my Pokemon just a bit here. Alright, rearrange the party, dropped off a Pokemon. That would be Sanders that I dropped off. We have Bebo out front, just in case. I picked up Mr. Gency, because we are going to be doing something quite important with him in a bit. Don't want to go that way. Almost took the wrong way there. As you can see, we now have this area open to us. The Slowbro is out of the way. I do want to go down the middle here, and we are on Route 5. Now, Route 5 doesn't have too many new Pokemon around here. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, you're looking at PIDGEY and a new Pokemon, which is not this one. Instead, I get a Bellsprout. Bellsprout would actually be good. The new Pokemon that you can get here is a Meowth. Meowth is a normal type Pokemon. Really only useful if you're looking for money. Not very useful otherwise. We will go for Leech Life here. I do want to try to catch the Bellsprout. It is useful in some situations, especially if Somja should die. God, that's not even good against you. Seriously, Sleep Powder? Are you being serious right now? Alright, Bellsprout. Not doing so well for me. Screw it. How often am I going to be using them? Use one of my awakenings on Bebo. If only I had an item that would do that constantly. Why would you use that twice in a row? Because you knew I was going to do it? Alright, we'll go for a bite. Bebo shouldn't be able to kill it? No, okay. Okay. Yeah, even when it's like decently effective, Leech Life is just not very good. Alright, no critical here. No critical! That's going to be good enough for me. That's going to be good enough for me. I'm going to start throwing Pokeballs at it now. I've been very lucky with Pokeballs up to this point. I've never had one get out yet. We're probably gonna break that today. Out goes Bellsprout's Pokeball, hopefully. Stay in there. Stay. Stay. Are you kidding me? It still stayed? Alright, we got a Bellsprout, which is the third Pokemon that you can get in Leaf Green. If you're playing Fire Red, it would be an Oddish. In Red, Blue, and Yellow, there's a lot different, actually, especially in Yellow. But we'll take a look at the Bellsprout that we picked up. It is 2 foot. It's a flower Pokemon. We're never going to see it flower. A carnivorous Pokemon that traps and eats bugs. It appears to use its root feet to replenish moisture. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Bellsprout. I much prefer Oddish in that line, but I'm going to take it anyway. Just for the record, in Red, there's Pidgey, there's Oddish, and Mankeys here. In Blue, there's Pidgeys, Bellsprouts, Meowths, which are only in Blue, they're not in Red. And then in Yellow, there's Pidgey, Pidgeotos, Rattatas, Jigglypuffs, and Abras here. Kind of weird how they did that for Yellow. But of course, we will give a nickname to the captured Bellsprout. We're going to go with Mandrake, and Mandrake is probably going to spend the rest of his days in the PC, should things go my way. If Somja dies, though, Mandrake will probably come out. Mandrake is not as good as Somja. But we may take a look at him at some point. Instead, I'm going to head down here to a very special place that I usually never use. This is the daycare center. Would you like me to raise one of your Pokemon? Indeed, I would. Which Pokemon should I raise? No real big surprise here. I'm going to give him Mr. Gency. Because I do want Mr. Gency in my party eventually. However, Mr. Gency is not very useful to me right now. Not going to be useful until I can teach it some TMs. So, Mr. Gency's exit will be now. Store, yes. That's so weird. Fine, I'll look after you, Mr. Gency, for a while. Come see me in a while. So how it works is every step that I take will give Mr. Gency 1 EXP. Now I'll owe this guy 100 Pokebucks plus 100 Pokebucks for however many levels Mr. Gency does gain here. Now I googled it just to make sure. I was pretty sure, but I wanted to Google it anyway. For the sake of this challenge, you will not get any evolutions done in the daycare center. So, perfect opportunity for me to dump Mr. Gency and hopefully get him up to par. So let's go back into town and get my Pokemon. I'll meet you back at the bottom of the daycare center.